What's up, guys? Today I want to show you a little bit the method of manufacturing process we use for our full suspension frame. Especially in this case, we're going to see cross country and marathon, our famous mag. I have just here a frame fresh out of the box. The idea is to disassemble and take everything apart and show you the way it's being made and why of every single detail of this frame. So I have here a couple of basic tools to show you. It's very simple to actually tear it apart. So we're gonna start removing the rear shock. In this case, it's a R version of the frame. In this case, you have a DPS Fox factory shock in it. Right, we need 6mm Allen in both sides, and then there is a 5mm Allen in both sides over here. Pretty much simple. How to remove the rear shock. It's like I said, double Allen, front and rear. You just remove the shock axle real quick. This is our top frame for cross country and marathon applications. For 2023, it's pretty much nothing changed except for some details, like internal ones. That's why the idea of showing you the inside of the frame, let's say. So you have two spacers inside, and this is the axle of the frame. Alright. So now we're gonna remove the front one. So like I was saying, we update the bearings on the 2023 version. We have the Enduro Pro Max bearings, ceramic coated. So they have pretty, good longevity, and they have no friction at all, and pretty good resistance when you're washing your bike or racing on the mats. So you remove the shock. It's very simple, like 2 minutes to remove the shock. So you need to be careful because you have a couple of spacers, and this is an important fact. I don't know if you're able to see. So everything, it's running into bearings. So many other brands right now today's, it's so focused on weights because it's become something so important. Because everybody, when it comes to marketing, all the brands always tell you it's the fastest frame, it's the best frame, but there's so many brands in the market. The market is saturated with bicycle brands, and they all say the same thing. So the only way to show that one frame is better than another, marketing speaking, is to show that the frame is lighter, because everybody can grab the frame and put it on a scale, right? That's very simple, as simple as that. But then it's ended up having frames on the market that there are kind of no full suspension for real. It's more kind of, you have a lot of limitations. When it comes also to spin, all the axles on the frame straight on carbon fiber, or even worse, to some like aluminum insert. So you don't have the travel, the cinematic of the full suspension is not smooth anymore. And so you have a lot of limitation. You're pretty much riding a hardtail with a little bit of travel on the back. So if that's the case, that's all narrowed down just to the weight, then why don't you use a hardtail? Or even better, like we have in our catalog, a soft tail. Well, we call it medium tail because it's not that soft. And so in the past we have soft tail, and we based on that technology we create what we call medium tail, which is pretty much a hard tail, like a race oriented bike. It's being used for many applications, including fixing, and it's a very good frame, and it's super light. It's, you know, 11 grams frame set. So why you want to have a super light full suspension frame where it's not efficient anymore, right? Because the main goal is the performance of the frame. So, and the lightness, it's one of the element of the performance. It's not the element. Of course, it's important, and we all try to build something so, you know, weight oriented. But it's like you can build, you know, a 19-pound full suspension with all super skinny tire, super wheels that then they are super flexy. Those skinny tires will have less control, more rolling resistance. You can use super light brakes, then after 10 minutes on the downhill, the oil will start boiling, and you're feeding the levers, and you start dropping the performance. So, you know, that's why if you check, sometimes there's kind of interesting review on those magazines where you can see like the top pro level of the World Cup bike checks, and you see the weight of their bikes. They are heavier than most of the amateur on the field. And is that the reason? Because you're looking for performance. You're looking to go from the point A to the point B as fast as you can with less trouble and problem, right? Because you want to finish the race. So with all being said, let's keep going. At this point, we're just gonna remove the rear triangle. This has been get a lot tight over here. All right. I want to mention also that all this frame, including the small size, they have 2 bottle cages, and more than that, we have like 3 on the down tube, 3 screw-up sets. So that's mean you can actually adjust it and move it. Some, you know, for cross-country races, which we're talking about 1 hour, 1 hour and a half race, included with the feed zone. So many riders, to carry less weight, they want to have just one bottle. So in this case, you can put the bottle cage a little bit down to the down tube, and so you have easy and faster access to the bottle. Otherwise, for longer races or marathon, including training, you can put 2 bottle cage and a special lateral exit, and so you can use this configuration in all our full suspension cross-country marathon bikes, or including hardtail as well, of course. And this is so important. This is something like I want it for real since we start. That was one of the main features. I wanted, beside performance, of course, to put it on the full suspension bike when we start designing these cross-country models. And it's something that I see over the years that many customers are looking for that specifically. Alright. I don't know why I started like in this rush of tearing apart the 2 triangles, but there's more feature that I want to go over with you. But we'll see later on. I want to mention as well, like, integrated steering. It's coming tapered, and it's not with the full, you know, internal cables, because I believe in mountain bike it's just a, you know, an aesthetic thing, and so, but it's not very functional. Including on the road bike, it's kind of, you know, especially if somebody's using kind of a mechanical group set, you have a bunch of cable that when, especially on mountain bike, when it's raining and you have the mud, they start making squeaking noise, and they're not, it's just, you know, they're not bringing any benefits beside seeing less cable around. That's the only thing. So with this with our road bike layup, we have all full, integrated cable from the handlebar, passing through the handlebar and the stem, and then the steering tube, and getting into the frame. But we didn't do it on the mountain bike for the same reason, because it's just an aesthetical application. And I believe this way, the kind of traditional way, will with running, of course, inside of the frame. Cables, it's more practical. Everything stays clean. This was a frame ready to go, so they have all the Loctite, everything super tight, and ready to be used and abused, pretty much. Alright. This is removing this. This is the suspension link. It's pretty much be able to tear apart and disassemble the two triangles of the frames. Both of these triangles are made with the same technology in monocoque, and so that's pretty much. And it doesn't matter if it is a R or SL model, we use the same mold and the same technology. The only difference is the carbon material and the material of the axle and pretty much the rear shock as well. Alright, this is the lower axle, and that's pretty much it. So we remove the spacers. So this is the rear triangle. This rear triangle is very important. It's been a very key part for the development of this full suspension frame, because it's, when you build a high performance full suspension cross country frame, you always have the challenging part of having like a zero bobbing effect, having no any vertical instability, especially when you are on lock on the rear shock, because you want most of the efficiency. Sometimes there is those climb, or there is the roots, so or maybe less grip, so you need that extra grip on a little bit of travel on your bike, but need to come from the pavement. So in the rear shock and the rear triangle need to open with the down to up forces, let's say, but not the opposite. Otherwise, every time you stand on the pedal or you're pedaling, it's absorbing your energy. And actually, from every pedal stroke, you have a percentage that is being stolen from your mechanism, from your bike, and it's not reaching the rear wheel properly. So with this monocross suspension system, that was one of the biggest issues for many brands. So what we did was, with the experience we got with our soft tail frame, we charged in a negative way the forces on the fibers. That's mean the rear wheel, just for explanation in a simple way, it's always pushing down. That gives you extra stability and also that extra firm feeling on your bike, so you feel like you can climb with the rear shock totally open, and the bike is so efficient, it's not sitting on the rear shock, but it's actually always kind of feeling that it's pushing forward. It's always like having that feeling that the bike is going fast and fast. So that's one of those good feeling at the beginning when you try the bike for the first time that you don't get used to, or maybe you're coming from another full suspension. This is one of the main difference you see. This is this is asymmetric rear triangle, which is mean you have the side drive and non-drive are totally different. I mean, not totally, but very different. So you see the drive side is making a sharp angle, instead the non-drive one is coming down a little bit, and this is for the idea is to having the extra space in order to have the brake caliper inside of the rear triangle. This is for protection purpose, and also to have more stiffness at the way when you're braking hard on your bike. If it's exposed like over here, this the seats, they of course have more flexion, have a bigger friction compared to the chainstay. Otherwise, it's a one full piece. Well, now there's the axle here, but it's of course connected down here and connected here. This is to make it even stiffer. It's actually a very stiff piece, and that's the idea of the secret, or let's call it the key ingredient for our full suspension bike. Alright, let's get back to the front triangle. And like I mentioned earlier, something that's very important, you see now there's a spacing. You see the steel ceramic bearing in the frame, and here is where the suspension link is bolted in with the axle, and you see this is aluminum embedded into the carbon fiber. And same here, the base of the bearings is in aluminum. Of course, we could save a lot of weight, not a lot, but for sure from some grams, if we put it straight on the carbon fiber, here this part, or even removing the bearing, just full carbon fiber and having a lot of spacer or something. But like I mentioned earlier, it will be lighter, but it will work less. The performance will drop. It will be less smooth at the time it's actuating. That's mean especially on the slow speed or the small bumps, you're gonna have like a stiffer bicycle that you feel like it's not, you don't have that stability and that control that can give you like that smooth transition of the rear shock. When I see the market, I see there's two schools. Some brands are going totally into lightness without having that much criteria in terms of performance, and vice versa. Some brands are more, let's say, conservative, which is not the right word, but they are more focused into performance and not just into weight. So we are in the second the second ones on the market. The idea is to have most of our attention goes to our factory team, of course. This year we are so happy to be the top 3 UCI cross country team in the United States. But at the same time we are focused on partnering with a lot of pro riders, amateur top riders, and top pro teams. And so we build our bikes with that function. We keep the input from pro riders, we keep the input from the teams that they are looking for having like a reliable bicycle, but at the same time high performance and racing oriented. That's for sure. There's not any fun bike here. It's all about top performance and top bikes, even including the entry-level ones. It's the best we can offer, because even in the entry-level one, I already have this frame. We don't have aluminum bike. We don't have those some brands, they offer kind of the entry-level with the front triangle in carbon and the rear triangle in aluminum, this kind of stuff. We don't do anything like that. Everything is top of the line. The only difference on the price between the configuration that you can find on our website is components. And so that's totally fine to buy entry-level bike and then over time upgrade it and make it like a super bike, because the base, the heart of your bike is already top performance, like in this case. All right, I hope you guys enjoy the video. If you have any question or comment, please write it down below. There is multiple videos. I keep posting videos all the time. Hope you can subscribe and stay tuned with us. And thanks for watching.